Hey guys, this is Eric Broadus back again with another video, and today the topic I want to talk about is, I'll name this video, You Can't Beat Father Time. You can't beat Father Time. It does not matter who you are. Father Time has no respect of any person. Father Time has no respect of a person's creed, culture, race, ethnic background, economic status. It has no respect to any of that. Father Time catches up to us all. For women, there's a term they may call it hitting the wall for women, where their season of their physical prime or their physical beauty is gone, and it's just on a decline after that. For guys, in simple terms, it's called aging, moving in from youth to middle age, and then middle age to becoming an old man, basically. But Father Time extracts his toll on every human being. And when I think about this, I reflect back to my youth, and many times when we're young, we are more foolish, or maybe be more risk prone, or we believe that we're invincible. And when we're young, our mindset is different, and we believe that at that point in time that we're going to stay that way, or things are going to stay the same. And then we find out as we age and mature that things around us change, people change, places and things change, and then even us as individuals, as we age and grow and mature, that we change and we don't see things the way we used to. Father Time makes us all eventually realize that we can't continue to do what we used to. Physically, we can't do the same things in terms of strength, stamina, or athletic ability. Athletic prowess is definitely a good example, and Father Time, has no respect of any level. For a professional athlete, obviously, in their mid to late 30s, they're definitely considered, old as an athlete. But at the lower levels, Father Time does have an expiration date, and if we don't respect Father Time, he will definitely allow us to know, physically or mentally, that our season for something is up, or you may physically suffer injuries from trying to do what you used to do when you were young or in your 20s. Father Time does catch up to us all. And so I say this is for all individuals, and definitely I would hope if there are young people watching this to, pay attention, because you may be young today, but you're not going to stay that way. And if there's one thing that's guaranteed in this life, is death and taxes, and Father Time always gets his man. We may try to stall him, or prolong it, through obviously taking care of our health, taking care of supplements, different types of treatments, liposuction, Botox, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, Father Time will get his man, whether it be male or female. And so it would behoove us to make the best choices with our lives that we can, especially while we're young, because our lives are the sum total of the decisions that we made. Most of it is the choices that we made. And obviously some of it is circumstantial. Circumstances happens to us all, but probably 90-something% of it is the decisions that we made. And sometimes those decisions, be they good or bad, they can take effect later on in life. Sometimes every decision that we make, we may not necessarily see the immediate benefit, or we may not reap the immediate consequence. But some people may call it karma. For every action, there's a reaction. Biblically, Christians would call it sowing and reaping. But make no mistake, Father Time is that pendulum of time, or he's the sands of time that are slowly filtering out in the hourglass. And all of us have an expiration date. whether we like it or not. We all have an expiration date from this life. We have an expiration date in terms of seasons for certain things that either we can get accomplished, or sometimes we have to move on and transition and not get stuck, in the mud. There are times and seasons for change, and if we don't move within those seasons or capitalize on those opportunities, they can forever be lost. Time, it does not wait, and it does not stop for any man. It does not stop for any of us. And money can be lost, and money we can get back. But time is the one valuable resource or asset that we can never get back. So we have to make the most of it while we have it. And Father, as I said, Father Time is no respect to anyone's person. No respect to anyone's person. And he always gets his man. And for some of us, he may catch up to us quicker than others, but even for those of us who can kind of stave him off a little bit, Father Time, he slowly walks us down. So it's in our best interest to make the most of our time. Make the most of it. And whatever that means to you. For each person is something different. For some it's chasing dreams, but we have to manage our time effectively, and we have to know when to transition and move on from one thing to another, or from one phase of life to another, because the one thing, time is going to keep on moving, and change will definitely come. And for young people, if you are listening to this, make the best decisions that you can in your youth, because the decisions that you make, say while you were young, they will have an effect on you as you get older. And my father, I speak of my dad, quite a few times in these videos, because my dad imparted certain wisdom to me, and at the time I couldn't understand it. When you're a teenager, you're really young, a little bit, hot-headed. And my dad, would always tell me, get control of your emotions. Don't let your emotions control you. Make, logical decisions. Think before you act. Because, and this is especially for the young people. There's a saying, age-old saying that goes, trouble is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. And also that trust is hard to be gained, but can be easily lost. So these are just basic examples and some just common sense and some wisdom, as to making wise choices with the span of time that you have. Because Father Time will catch up. Make wise career choices. It's nothing wrong with chasing your dream. And if you're going to go to school to get an education, that costs time and money. Make sure that it's a degree or something that you can use. And even if you're going to go to trade school, whatever it is, if you're going to go to trade school to learn something, make sure you learn a skill set that's valuable and that you can use. Because it makes no sense to spend all that money and invest all that time in learning a skill set that's no longer valuable in the marketplace or the workplace. It's not needed. It's called supply and demand. And at a certain point, you want to make sure you get the skills needed for the 21st century, for this marketplace, because eventually we all age out of what's considered being hireable. At a certain, when employers normally are going to want to hire the young, because they can pay you less, and also they can train you, versus trying to hire, say, someone who's maybe middle-aged or even older. And even though they may have experience, unless it is in a unique case, they're not going to want to pay that person, a high salary when they can get 2 or 3 for the same. And so that's an example of Father Time catching up. Father Time will age you out of the job market. Father Time also will age you out of the dating market. There's a span, saying, or a season when you have the best opportunities for suitable mates. And for young women, this is definitely applicable because you have a certain time with which you have prime fertility. And if you miss that window of opportunity, then for those that may want to bear children or become a mother, that window, to bear children or become a mother could forever be lost. So Father Time, extracts his toll. Each and every one of us will have to pay Father Time. None of us will get away. Father Time is like that. He's worse than the IRS. He is going to claim that which is his. Father Time is that toll bridge that none of us we cannot cross. Unless we pay the fee. And Father Time will always get his man. So knowing that, the sands of time, the grains of sand are steadily dropping in the hourglass, we need to make the most of our time, which means making the best decisions that we can. For some of us, it's making sure that we maintain or bridge the gap between family relationships and relationships with true friends. Those are things that money can't buy. And seeing that we're all only allotted a certain season of time while we're here, we need to capitalize on that and do the best that we can to maintain relationships, whether it's biological family or extended, or even if you consider your friends that are family, whoever it is that is close to you that you value. Strengthen those bonds, before the sands of time and the hourglass have emptied out. Make the best decisions that you can, so that way you can have, when you get to be older, you can have very little regret. In my life overall, I am happy with my life. Now, are there some things that I could have done better? I mean, sure, but thank God, by God's grace, I've been able to recover from the mistakes that I've made. But like anybody else, Father Time is walking me down. And as I look at things in my own life, and I could see, over time, it's like, wow, Father Time is catching up certain things, I have to, and I've had to transition out of, because it's no longer fit for me as a middle-aged man. I had to grow and I had to mature. I could not, as I age and get older, continue doing the same things. And for some of us, there's some things that we're going to have to let go, or we're going to have to make needed changes. Or else, if we don't make the needed changes with Father Time on our trail, we're going to find ourselves left behind. And, I say that with all seriousness. And change is never easy. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes they have to be made. But Father Time always gets his man. So what I would say to all that are listening, make the most of your time. Life is what we make it. And time is a precious gift that God has given us, and we have to make the most of it. Because once that time is lost, every second that ticks off that clock, that's a second that's never going to come back. So the name of this video is called You Can't Beat Father Time. And believe you me, Father Time always gets his man. That's all I have for today. So please subscribe to my channel. For those that are subscribed, please tap the bell so you can get new subscriptions on any new videos or any future podcasts that I will be putting out. Please like the video, unlike it, leave comments, share it. And thanks guys for listening. Thanks for your time. And I will see you guys on the next one.